So to define the new website now, for the dynamic pages, we will go to the site menu, create new site, and we will click on the advanced tab, because basic tab, you will see the features by clicking on the next, which is a bit tedious. Okay. If it is static website, then basic interface is easy to use. But I would prefer using advanced tab because you'll get all information to set category wise rather than you see them by next. You know, it's just interface wise. Advanced tab is easier to use. Okay. In terms of colors and some settings, CS6 will be slightly different. But then if you spend some time on it, you'll be okay with it. It's not that complicated. The first thing now we're going to define this website is local information. Okay. Now local information means any name you want to give this website for, because that name will appear in your manage site list. Okay. So here, because we're designing that eShop, I'm going to write eShop.com. Anything you want, really, it doesn't matter. And the local root folder, what should be the folder here? Click on the folder icon and go to My Computer, C drive, XAMPP, htdocs, that's the one. And in htdocs, where's it going? What can I didn't copy it, is it? All right, let me just copy as well quickly. Okay. Copy, C drive, XAMPP, sorry, htdocs. Now you can go back and browse the folder, which is C drive, XAMPP, htdocs, eShop. So that eShop is going to be the root folder because we are working in the localhost environment. Okay. Default images folder, if you want, you can pick images folder as the default images folder for your website. The rest we can keep it default. Second thing you should define for the local website is the remote information. Static websites up to level 2, we didn't define these parts. Only we used it when we use uploading and downloading, right? Because now we are using all of that transactions using local server. In the remote information, you should see and select access real FTP, a real web server. We choose FTP details. Okay, but simulation we will select local network because we are testing it locally. So we select local network and it will ask you what is the remote folder of your website. Now select the remote folder same as the local root folder. So I'm going to select, click on the folder icon, and I'm going to keep eShop. So my site local folder as well as the remote folder is same. Okay. Then the third thing you must mention is the third option and category called testing server. Always make sure this, sometimes they will ask you questions in interviews and all. But the testing server is normally used locally because static website, if I just press F12 or go into the preview, it directly opens the page in browser. But in Dreamweaver, because it is PHP, it will not work directly. It has to be going through localhost / blah 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 blah, right? Now if you want to save those steps, you can define your testing server models here. Means you can say the server model, drop down, select PHP MySQL because that's the technology we are using, and access level, local network. And what should be the testing server folder? Now it will automatically pick it based on the root folder you have specified before. Excuse me. But because we mentioned that root folder here under the testing server, you will see the URL prefix here. So at testing server stage, when you're defining the website, the moment you press F12, once we finish this process, the browser will only show you up to localhost. But in order to check our website, what do we have to type normally? If I want to check eShop, you will type localhost / eShop folder name as well. Now, if you want to keep avoiding all of that, it's best to keep that path here. All right. So if I'll just go here in my testing server URL, localhost / I will save my testing time. So when I'll do that, it will automatically go to this URL and inside this folder. You see? So that's the linkage between these two. Means you don't have to worry. Once PHP is working, site is defined, all you have to do is just create pages. And when you test, the pages will be automatically tested through the localhost server. Okay. Now this is why we pay Dreamweaver, obviously, because if we use notepads and all to type, it will work, but you will not get such easy comfort zone to test your pages. Okay. That's why people use Dreamweaver. Now, once I have these things specified here, final stage is just say OK. You can see here now in the right hand side files panel, it shows your local site here. Maybe let me just create one basic page here. Testing eShop page. This page as a title. I'm going to save this page as index.php. Let's say I can even save it as HTML, right? Because there's no PHP for a while. But just for safer side, I'm saving it as PHP. Once I do that, when I save it, you will see in the right hand side files panel, the index.php page is saved. So if I want to test it, I don't have to go to the browser and type localhost and all. Because we have defined the testing server in site definition of Dreamweaver, we can still stay in Dreamweaver, either press F12 or we can preview it any browser we like. Do you see now? Directly the browser jumps to the URL we defined. It automatically picks the index page, and this is the output. So first stage, even if you go home or if you're working in the college now or in future, make sure htdocs is functioning properly. Okay, means your XAMPP is working. And second thing, make sure your testing server, remote folders are all defined correctly. If those three things will not take more than a minute of your time. But before you start doing any pages and editing, if you have done this testing before, that will save quite a lot of problems in future. Okay? So I want you to define sites like this, test it, and then we'll start building pages. Let me start site definition menu.